I often refer to my approach as directive empathy. Okay. So of course we have the humanistic approach, which Rogerian in particular, which is ground. I argue that the core of fundamentally good therapy starts with Rogers. Okay. And the reason is because what Rogers saw is the stack of the self in a particular way, where at the foundational core is the organismic valuing process into essentially an ego, a justifying thing that then has to navigate the social environment. Okay. And he saw that the development of that could be stunted and pulled away because judgmental others create uncertainty, which then create a need to show false self, etc., that alienates oneself from the organismic valuing process. Okay. And then Rogers, of course, then wanted to create an unconditional positive regard relationship that had accurate empathy, that could then basically mirror the underlying organismic valuing process and create the capacity to find the actualization. Okay. Which I totally agree with. What I think Rogers overshot on was the idea that the exterior mirror simply had to be toward the empathy and couldn't also bring an adequate and accurate conceptual system to the ego that could then shine a light on the organismic valuing process and afford its capacity to clarify it. Okay. So directive empathy then emerges, where I can bring my scientific mapping and afford them that conceptual system, train them sort of on it, show through interpretation how, and then they can bring their interpretive ego, as it affords the capacity to internalize this, shine it on their experiential psyche in a particular way, and then utilize that to guide the transformation, to see what the maladaptive processes are with a lot more conceptual specificity, even as you're mirroring and holding and attending. And then what you can get is you can get the affective charges and the signals that are going in an attachment relational context that then affords the narrative to be aware and attuned of what's going on, cultivate a place where you can metabolize that emotion, and then transform it towards adaptive outcomes in the short and long term. And if you do that, I think that's an actual way to really describe both the learning emotional mechanisms, the relational context of relation, and the kinds of principles and processes that are reliably associated with adaptive change.